Good evening. My name is Davis Kurihara-Nakasu, and welcome to another video for Dr. Halverson's ITM 387E Mobile Commerce and Mobile Apps Development class. Today we'll be making a app that sends text messages via the API Twilio. So if you can, follow along with the instructions by opening up the ITM 387E.info assignments page and then clicking on the instructions here. Okay, so as you can see, we're going to be building the app from a plugin, the Twilio Message API plugin. To do this, we'll have to sign up for a developer account, so I'll go ahead and do that so you can kind of see the process right now. So if you're on the instructions, you click on this link, and you can create a free account. It's easy. Just enter a name, an email, and a password. So it says enter phone number. So I'll enter my phone number in. I'm going to move this off screen so it's not available because I'm going to make this public. So I'm going to pull it up to the top screen. So I'm going to enter my verification code in. Okay, so after you get the verification code and you enter it in the screen, you'll be able to get started. I'm going to go to the instructions, and what we have to do is create a new app first. So if you could go to appri.io and log in with your email and password, or your username and password. And then what we need to do, the instructions want us to create a new app. So click create new app, and then for the app name, enter Twilio app and click create. Now, if you already are working on your assignments page, it's possible, but you don't create a new app, you just go to your existing one, and you can create a Twilio app page, or you can try to just create, once you're on your assignments page, just create new from plugin. But what I did when I did mine for, the app with all my assignments on it, I just created Twilio app as a page, and then I created the plugin from the page, and then later I deleted this page, so it just left the actual app from the plugin. But I'll explain as we go along. So click create. So now you'll see the start page. We'll click on pages and expand. Okay, and now what we're going to do is import the Twilio plugin. So to do this, we click create new, and then from plugin. And so instead of page or any of these, it's from plugin. And then we just find it here. We scroll down to Twilio Message API, and we check the box. And then click import selected plugins. And it says you'll be asked whether you want to enter Twilio account information. The only value you should enter at this point is your Twilio telephone number. So let's get that number first. I'm going to go back to the Twilio user account. And it says get your Twilio number right here. So you click it. It's good to write this down. My number is 251-333-9933. Okay, I'm going to choose this number. And there we have it right there. Now it says to configure your number. One moment, let me take a look at this. Okay, all we do is we just press that button. There's no need to press this configure your number right now. But we want to go back to our app screen, and let's read this. It says the plugin contains Twilio settings file. This file usually contains API keys used by the service. Do you want to set it now? You can always set it later. So we want to set it now. And it says, would you like to set the plugin page as the start page for the app? And we can do this later, but it says select Twilio Send as our start page. So if you're working on your app with multiple pages, all the assignments, then you can do this and then make sure it's Twilio Send so it starts on that page. So let's apply the settings, and it'll take us to this. Now the instructions say the only value you should enter at this point is your Twilio telephone number. Right here, add value. The version and the account SID we'll add later. So we just click on that, and we can type in our number. It's verified. It's 251-333-9933. Let's go back. Okay. So now we have that set up. The instructions say that the app has 2 pages. You can see them over here. This page, let's click on the UI to take a look at it. Oh, and it's always a good habit to save as we're working. So let's click Save here. And Twilio Send is our start page. So as you can see, this page allows us to send a message, and the other page allows us to see the history of all the messages that we've sent. When we test that, you'll be able to see a little bit more about how the pages interact. And there's also an icon up here that would be the navigation between the pages. Okay, so moving on, the instructions state that it's important now to protect the Twilio account ID and authentication tokens, the ones that we created when we created our account for Twilio. It says if someone gains access to your Twilio account information, they will be able to send messages on behalf of your account. So, let's see. I may not be able to make this public. So, you see my number, Twilio number. That's okay, I guess they can know that. But in terms of it's important to protect the account SID and authentication tokens. So what I'll do is when I actually access that, I'm going to do it off screen, but I'll walk you through the process. So in order to protect these values, we're going to store them in a database on the server. Okay, so we go to the app builder. I'm going to pull this page and put it on my other screen. So in order to do that, we go to the database. You can either close the app after you've saved it, so save and close, or go to the database right here and click Create New Database. And we're going to call it Twilio DB. And click Create. And now we need to create a new collection. And we're going to name it Credentials. And I may actually have to do this because you'll be able to see the code. I may have to actually do this off screen as well. But I'll show you where to enter the information. And then we want to click plus column right here. And name the first column key. And it should be string. So key string create. And another column called key value. And also string, the type is string. So we have key string, key value string. It says now we're going to enter the Twilio keys into the database. Click plus row right here. And enter account SID proxy. And its value, so I'll type in account SID proxy and its value. And it says we can copy that from the Twilio. So in order to do that, I can show you where to find that information. But I can't really give it to you. I'm going to pull the page down. So if you click on Dev Tools, you see up here, So you're on this page. You click on DevTools, and it'll take you to the page. And there'll be a section under DevTools called Test Credentials. There'll be a submenu called Test Credentials. So look for that. And then you'll see your account SID and the authentication token. Now the account SID, all you have to do is copy and paste. The authentication token, you have to click on, and then it'll display it. It's blacked out with dots. All you have to do is click on it. So what I'm going to do is now copy this information into the account SID into this right over here, and I'm going to do that off screen just for security purposes. I'm going to put that up here. And then I'll try to walk you through the steps while I'm doing this. I'm gonna click plus row again. So now we've have those two filled in. I'm gonna click plus row, and I can't. Well, I guess I can show it to you because it's not everything. So I'll pull it down. So as you can see, some of it I copied it right here and pasted it, and you can't see all of it, so it's somewhat protected. Now I'm going to click plus row, and then I'm going to enter the next row. It's going to be auth string. And value is going to be a combination of account SID and authentication token. So the instructions say we can combine these values, separating them with colon as following. So I'm going to do this off screen again. Well, actually I can do it on screen. I have the account SID, and that's the first thing we put in there. So I've highlighted it off screen, and then I'm going to click in the key value. And click paste. So that's part of it. And then I'm going to put a colon. And then I'm going to put the second half of it. To do that, I go off screen and get my authentication token. Copy that. And then go to the very end. And then paste it. So now it consists of the both halves. So it goes in this value, it's account SID colon and then authentication token. So it's joined. It's a combination of account SID and authentication token. Okay. Now the instructions want us to encode it as base64. And to do this, I use the tool www.base64encode.org. I'll go ahead and pull that up over here. Okay, and so I don't want to show my authentication credentials, my account SID and authentication token here. So what you do is you take the value that you have in here. You can do it that way. You can double click it, or you can click in the box and press Control A, and it selects everything, and then copy, Control C. Now I'm going to paste it into here and then click encode, but I'm going to do so on the other screen so you can't see it, and to protect the security of my account. So I'm going to pull it up here. I'm going to paste it. Shoot. One more time. So double click, control copy. Okay. That didn't do it. Click in there, control A, control copy. Okay, so it should have two parts. When you put it in there, it should have one part, a colon, and the second part. Then you just click encode. And then you have a bunch of code. And at the end, it should have two equal signs. I'm going to go ahead and take that value. I'm going to copy it and paste it into the authentication string key value. So where we copied it from initially, I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm going to delete that. Control delete, delete everything. So there's nothing in the cell. And then I'm going to paste it. Control V. So as you can see, it has those two equal signs. And then I'm going to go to the very beginning. I just press the home key to get to the beginning of that field. And then I'm going to type in, the instructions want me to type in basic space. Okay. So we just typed basic space and then in front of that thing that we got from the base64encode.org when we converted it. And that goes in the key value column for authentication string. And remember there's a space between basic and there. That's what the instructions say. Space between the basic word and encoded string. Okay, so it says these values are stored in the database and they're secure. Okay, so next we have to tell the Twilio services to use the data from this database collection. And to do this, we're going to create a secure proxy. So it's already saved. We can scroll up and then go to secure proxy. And then create new proxy. And we're going to call it Twilio proxy. Click create. And in the proxy settings page, we want to click use proxy and store sensitive data in the database. So instead of the default proxy, we want this one. And for database, select Twilio DB. That's this one right here. Collection, click credentials. For key column, select key. And key value select, or value column, select key value. And then click save. Okay, we're almost done. All we have to do is tell the Twilio API services to use this proxy. So we go to the app builder, right here. And then open services. So we see the services here. You have more services in this, but you have to locate the Twilio send message service. And we want to check use API. So leave all the defaults and then use apri.io proxy. It's checked, and then we have to select the proxy we just created. Now it's not here at the Twilio proxy. All we have to do is click the refresh button, and then you see the Twilio proxy. So we select that, and repeat the same for the Twilio show messages. So leave the defaults, and then find the Twilio proxy right here. Okay, that's all. That's it. That was not too bad. We can now run that by clicking the test button. So we want to save, and then first, if you haven't already done so, make it public. And then we want to test. Make sure if you're working on the, let me click off here, your main app with all the home pages, that in order to see it, it either has to be, you have to set it in the project, in the app settings, like how Dr. Halverson showed us. We have to set the start page to be Twilio send. So you can set Twilio send just to test it over here, or you can go ahead and go to your Twilio send and create a home button or a link button back to your main home page, and then create the event to link the menu page to this app, and this page or this app back to the menu page. Once you have that, you can test it like this. Let's try and test it. So it's public, and then we click test. Hopefully it works. Okay, so that pulls up. Now you can enter a phone number here. So we can enter a number. Let's enter a number to send a text to. See, I don't want to enter my phone number, and it would be hard to send it to a device. So just enter a number that you want, and then click message. But I have a feeling, because we are using the test credentials, remember how we entered them into the database? These test credentials doesn't really allow you, the instructions say it allows you to test the application without connecting to real phones or charging your account. So it appears that if we substitute the test credentials for your actual credentials, and to get to those, let's see, let me see if I can find a way to do that. Okay, one moment, I'm going to pause the video. Okay, I figured it out. So if you go to your Twilio.com, let's see, homepage, and then you click in the, let's see, the top right corner that's called trial account. You'll have your email, and then you click trial account. If you go to account, so trial account, and then you go to account, there'll be account settings. You'll see that there are API credentials for a live account and a test account. So if you were to substitute the values that you put for the test account in the database, then you should be able to, I'm not sure if you would have to create another proxy, secure proxy, but you may be able to then send text, but your account may be charged. It may require you to pay. There's a way to upgrade your account, and the instructions did say by using the test the test credentials, you won't be charged. And you can see kind of how much you're being charged by going to, let's see, if you go to usage, like on the very top menu, if you find usage, they'll have it says you owe $1, but you haven't entered any credit information, so technically it won't charge you. However, if you do use the real credentials, may require you to enter in some payment information, and it may create a bill. So just to be safe, the app should work like this, where you just test it with a number that you have, like not your Twilio number, but maybe your cell phone number. When I did that and I just put a simple text message in and send SMS, it actually created an error. But we went through the process, and Dr. Halverson may be able to, clarify this, and we may be able to improve upon it in later videos or before it's due. But this will get you through the instructions to a point where you'll have the app in working condition, I guess, ready to be really put into service. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, and thank you very much for viewing, and I guess I'll see you next time. Okay, goodbye.